All right. So let's look at this. So what I have here is I have, hey guys, all right. What I have here is a nasopharyngeal culture. All right. So go ahead and think in your mind what could be pathogenic in the nasopharyngeal. Sinusitis, for instance. This person has a terrible sinus infection. So my chocolate plate. Can you see that? There's my chocolate plate. Let's change the lamp to see if that changes anything. Does that help? Okay. So this is my chocolate plate. Oh, there's a contaminant on here. This is my blood agar plate. Now, it's hard to see this on this camera. This is a tan colored colony, okay? Lamp. We'll see if that helps. Maybe not. Yes.
How long have they been incubating?
This has been incubating 48 hours. So this is not 24-hour growth. This is 48-hour growth. That's a good question. This is a tan-colored colony. Thank you. You know what it is now. What is it not? What do you know that it's not? Don't worry about this contaminant right here. What do you know that it's not based upon the color of it? It's going to be a tan-colored colony. Okay. So based upon, I'll go over it after we finish, okay? So based upon the color of it, the shape of it, the fact that it is growing a little bit on blood agar, we know several things that it's not, so we know which way to go. Now, because I know it's not bright white and creamy, I know that it's not staph, right? It's not staph, so I can rule that out completely. Because on blood agar, it's not translucent, it's not transparent, it's not extremely transparent. Pretty sure it's not strep. Streptococcus is a transparent organism. Because it's tan, the organisms that I know to be tan on chocolate agar are from the Neisseria genus, the Moraxella genus, and what other genus? Haemophilus, okay? But it's growing on blood agar, so what do I know that it's not? Haemophilus. It can't be Haemophilus. So it's got to be Neisseria or Moraxella, right? So the testing that we would do, I would oxidase this, and I get an oxidase positive reaction, but that doesn't tell me if it's Neisseria or if it's Moraxella. So I do sugar testing, okay? Because what do I know about Neisseria versus Haemophilus in sugar testing? I know that Neisserias are saccharolytic, which means what? Exactly, and I know that Moraxella is asaccharolytic. So when I look at my sugars, my glucose, my maltose, and my sucrose, and I'm going to include sucrose in this just to show you, this is what I get. Glucose, maltose, sucrose. And a positive reaction or fermentation would be yellow in color. So I get all red for my sugars, which tells me what? That I know that it's not. It's not Neisseria, because Neisseria is saccharolytic, right? So this has got to be Moraxella. So in order to determine if it is truly Moraxella, what I can do is I actually have what's called a microdase disc, and I don't know if you can read it from here. This is your DNA testing disc. And let's see if I can put it on top of here so you can see it. I think I might have enough for you guys to do this in pairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a loop, a sterile loop, and from my chocolate plate, I am going to pick up colony that I suspect to be Moraxella. And you want to pick it up from the isolated area, okay? So I'll pick up one of these, and I'll pick up one of these, a couple of these, okay? I take it and I rub it into the disc, and I watch for a color change. I don't know if it's going to do it or not. Let's see here, take the lamp off.
Yeah.
You see it? So it was white, and now that I rubbed in the Moraxella, this disc is impregnated with a chromatin that will detect DNase. And what is DNase?
Breaks down DNA.
Yeah, it is an enzyme that hydrolyzes double-stranded DNA, and Moraxella secretes it, whereas Neisseria species do not. So this confirms for me that this is Moraxella. Okay? Throw that away. That's what you need in order to identify Moraxella. You need your oxidase, your sugars, and your DNase. And like I said, I should have enough for you guys to do this in pairs. So let's put that here. All right. So let's look at this. So we're going to see what it's not, and I'll cut the lamp on if I need to. This is a sputum sample. So I'll read my chocolate plate first. Wow. Okay. You see the sheen in it? Okay. Now, agar's going to have a sheen anyway. But you really can't see the colonies. All you can see is that color change, correct? What do I know that it's not? Right off the bat. I know that it's not staph, okay? Because it's not, staph doesn't do that. Staph doesn't do that on chocolate agar. And plus, staph is going to be bright and white. This is transparent. You can't see the colonies on there. So the blood agar plate. There's your blood agar plate. Now, if I could get light behind this, you can see that this is strongly alpha hemolytic. And if you could look at it very, very closely, you can see that it's very mucoid, and it almost looks like a hockey puck. This is also a transparent colony. Okay? So, for sure, what do I know it's not? Tell me what it's not. I heard it's not staph. I heard it's not Streptococcus pyogenes. Why is it not Streptococcus pyogenes? Yeah. It's not beta hemolytic. Okay? So we're going to compare these two right here. What else do I know that it's not based on the color of the colony? It's not Neisseria. It's not tan. So you can rule out Neisseria, Moraxella, and Haemophilus. So that leaves strep, right? So Streptococcus. So I'm pretty sure that this is in the Streptococcus genus. But based upon the alpha hemolytic pattern, what do I need to do next? What's the next step? What's the first step in identifying? Catalase, okay? We can't jump right to a P disc because we have to go in a progression. So catalase is the first one, although I'm fairly certain it'll be catalase negative. I need to check it. So yep, catalase is the first one, and it is negative. So based upon its catalase reactivity and its hemolytic pattern, what's the next test that's needed? A P disc, okay? So you suspect that this is Streptococcus pneumoniae, and that's right. That's exactly what you would need to do for Streptococcus pneumoniae. The P disc would be considered sensitive or susceptible, okay? You would see a zone of clearing around the disc, and I don't have one set up, but that's what you would see, okay? All right. This is a urine sample from a patient who has been bedridden for a long time in a nursing home and has had a history of UTIs, all right? And for some reason, my tech plated it on chocolate, and I don't know why, but we don't plate urines on chocolate. All right, before you tell me what it is, tell me what you know it's not. It's not Staphylococcus. It's not Streptococcus. It's not what else? It's not Neisseria. It's not Haemophilus. What else? It's not Moraxella. It's yellow. Beautiful golden yellow. Now, it is in the same family as Streptococcus, right? Staphylococcus. What is this? Micrococcus. And you know that because of the pretty golden color, right? So, tell me how to identify it, though. What's the first step that you're going to choose? Catalase, right. It's going to be catalase positive. What's next? Coagulase is next. And what is its reactivity? Negative. You got it. So historically, we would stop and say coag negative Staphylococcus species, and that's it. But my physician says, nope, you got to tell me what species because every antibiotic is not working. How would I identify this? What do you use? Oxidase, yeah. And what is its oxidase reaction? It's oxidase positive. So Micrococcus species is oxidase positive, and that's all I would need from you for that, okay? There's also the bacitracin disc that you could use, but I'd prefer you to let me know oxidase. But if you tell me both of them, that's perfectly fine, okay? All right. This is a throat culture from a 10-year-old child with chronic tonsillitis. All right, so before you know what it is, you already know what it is, right? And think about this. 11 weeks ago, you didn't, right? Okay, so tell me what it's not, just by looking at the colony morphology. It's not staph because it's not bright, white, creamy, and round, okay? What else do you know that it's definitely not? It's not Neisseria because Neisseria does not produce this type of hemolysis. It won't do it. Neither will Moraxella. Neither will... Why do you definitely know this is not Haemophilus? Because it's growing on blood agar. Okay, this is regular sheep blood. So, we know it's not know it's not staph, no it's not Neisseria, it's not Moraxella, it's not Haemophilus. It's got to be strep, correct? So, the colony is pinpoint, transparent, beta hemolytic. It's a throat. So we know we're main pathogen we're looking for in the throat. So, what do you suspect that this is? Streptococcus pyogenes, exactly. So, tell me how to identify it. Catalase is what? Yep. And then what's next based on its hemolytic pattern? ADIS. ADIS or PYR, okay? Have we seen a PYR? We have seen a PYR, right? Okay. So, if it's ADIS sensitive, what's that going to look like? A zone of clearing or inhibition around the disc, exactly. So, yep, this is Streptococcus pyogenes, and as you can see, the hemolysis goes clearly through the plate. It rips up everything. All right. Okay, this is a wound culture, and the streaking's not optimal, okay? This is a wound culture from a leg. Patient cut himself with a chainsaw outside and didn't get it taken care of. So, our chocolate plate. Now, that's not tan, okay? It looks like it's appearing to be tan just because it's on chocolate, but it's not tan. That's bright, don't you think? That organism's bright. It's gray to white, all right? Opaque. Light will not come through this. So what do you know that it is not? Definitely. It's not strep. What else? It's not Haemophilus because it's growing here. It's not Neisseria. Neisseria is going to be tan, and some people might look at that and see tan, but it's not going to be that bright on blood agar, so you have to look at both of them and compare them. So if it's not Neisseria, it's not going to be Moraxella either. So what does that leave? Staph, okay? So this is staph. It's bright, white to gray, large, medium to large. Now, the hemolytic pattern on here, it's not beta, it's not alpha. It's really doing something odd and weird, okay? So sometimes you have to think outside the box whenever you're looking at hemolytic patterns on colonies that are bright, white, and creamy like this, because they can lose their hemolysis, okay? That happens as organisms mutate and their genome changes. So you want to make sure that you don't completely hinge your identification on the hemolytic pattern. But organisms like Streptococcus pyogenes, they have it. They're going to have it. But staphs can mutate. So if you suspect this to be staph, what's the first test you need to do? A catalase. And if it's staph, it's going to be what? Okay. So this is catalase positive. What's next? Coagulase. Okay. This coagulase is coagulase positive. What does that identify this as? Staph aureus. So what else do I need to do for Staph aureus? I need to do an oxacillin disc, or I need to plate it to a chrome agar plate to see if it's what? MRSA. This is MRSA. This is the organism, and it has lost its hemolysis. Okay. Actually, you can see it. You can see it when you hold it up to light. So when you get this today, look at it against the light. You can see it faintly. All right. Let's see here. Sputum culture from a 65-year-old patient who came into the hospital just fine but had to go on a ventilator and now she has pneumonia. So I have this. Now that color right there is kind of greenish almost. It's a tan to a greenish color. It's an odd color, and it smells horrific. It's awful. It's musty and mousy smelling. I want to gag. It's nasty. Okay, but that's a tan to almost a greenish color. But here's the kicker. What's on the blood agar plate? Nothing. So what do you know that it's not? It's not staph because, number one, staph won't look like that. It won't have that color. It's not strep because it's translucent to almost opaque, and most strep is going to be transparent to translucent. It's fairly medium to large. And what else do you know that it's not? It's not Neisseria. That green color, Neisseria is more of a tan. Plus, Neisseria is going to be growing here. Okay, so it's not Moraxella either. They're basically in the same family. So what do you have here? You have Haemophilus, and your key to knowing that is that you have no growth on this blood agar plate at all, period. Haemophilus will not grow on blood agar because it needs what? X and V. And what can it get? What can it only get from blood agar? It can only get X. So it has to get its V factor from chocolate. So now, if you suspect it to be Haemophilus, tell me what the gram stain would be. Gram-negative coccobacilli. That's all right. Gram-negative coccobacilli. So how would you proceed to identify this? What would be the first test that you would do?
Still want us to do catalase?
You can do catalase, but the catalase could be variable. So I don't hinge my identification on the catalase. So oxidase. Oxidase is going to be what? Positive. You're going to see that purple color. And since I'm pretty sure it's Haemophilus, what do I need to know about it? What biochemical testing do I have to know about it?
It's saccharolytic.
Okay, it is saccharolytic. Haemophilus will actually ferment glucose. All right, it will do that. So if you had the glucose testing, which I can show you that,
Oh, the X.
that would be a positive. Okay.
X and B.
Yep, it needs X and V. So I need to know, does it use both? Does it need both? What does it need? Okay, so that's what I need. So tell me, what is the X and V factor utilization of Haemophilus influenza? It needs both. It has to have both in order to grow. Okay? And when you get to your clinical sites, you'll do more extensive testing with those quad plates. And I'll try to get you some Monday.
So that's Haemophilus influenza.
Yes, ma'am. So this is a spinal fluid, okay? I have tan colored colonies on my chocolate, okay? And this has been used a little bit, but they're tan in color. On my blood agar plate, they're gray to bluish gray. This is an older colony here, so it's starting to die out, and it's very mucoid. They're translucent, so they allow a little bit of light through there. So what pathogen do you suspect in spinal fluid immediately? Neisseria. So tell me what you definitely know this is not first. Not Haemophilus. Why? Because it's growing on here. Not staph, because it would be bright white and creamy, correct? What else? Not strep, because you would see tiny pinpoint colonies that were translucent to transparent. Okay, so I'm torn between Neisseria and Moraxella. What is one quick way you could find out if it's Moraxella? The sugars. What if you did the DNase? Okay, so let's do that. Let's look at it. Let me see if I can do it this way. Turn the lamp off. We had the lamp off last time, right? So if I think it could be Moraxella, and I want to do a DNase test on it, What do I expect the reaction to be? I'll expect it to change color, right? Let's see. Ooh.
Too big.
Hold on. Give me a sec. I grabbed the wrong one. I didn't have a chocolate plate for you to look at for that one. Let's look at it this way. Teachers learn from students. It should not be positive, guys. This disc must be very old, okay? This is actually Neisseria meningitis, and the DNase is going to be negative, okay? So please don't worry about that. Sorry. I'm only going to test you DNase for Moraxella, okay? All right? This is meningitis. So, your sugars, that's what you'll get. And they'll be labeled. Glucose, maltose, and sucrose.
Because Moraxella is negative for all of those, right?
Moraxella is negative for all of those. Yep. I'm not going to have you doing DNase testing on these. You could play with these tablets, but during the practical, you're not going to have that. You need to know the reactions of them, okay? So, Neisseria meningitis ferments glucose and maltose and not sucrose, okay? In comparison to gonorrhea, which ferments what? Just glucose. So your gonorrhea would be like that. Glucose, maltose, sucrose. So your red is negative, your yellow is positive. Yellow indicates fermentation. Okay? An acid has been produced, and that acid has changed that indicator color. Any questions about this? Okay.